Welcome back to Sports Talk ATL. I am Chase Earl, joined by Jake Gordon and Alex Lord. The Phillies and Braves are set to start this Saturday in a rematch of the NLDS. And we talked about it in the last two segments. Now let's get into the actual pitching matchups. And there's a lot of TBA here. So I want to try to break it down and see what to expect from both teams. The first game, you got Spencer Strider versus TBA. As I mentioned in the last segment, they got three options. Then go Ranger Suarez. The guy had a 1.23 ERA in the postseason for them last year. He also threw 6 innings of one-run ball in his only start against the Braves this season. I'm leaning towards them probably starting him because I think their second best option is Sanchez, who I thought had fantastic stuff. He pitched twice against the Braves down the stretch, both losses, but I like the way he looks. One, he went 7 innings, 4 runs, 10 strikeouts. He's got good strikeout stuff. I think he's actually the best pitcher of the three in terms of stuff. But how much do they trust a 26-year-old with no postseason experience over a guy like Ranger Suarez, who really pitched fantastic? Now, Suarez can come out of the bullpen or as a starter. I think they're probably going to start him. It makes the most sense on the road. Or they could go Taijuan Walker. If they pitch Taijuan Walker in game 1 and we lose the game, I might have an aneurysm. That guy sucks. I couldn't even imagine them doing this. He has a 6 ERA against the Braves this year. He has a 5.5 ERA in his last 8 starts. He's been their number 3 all year, but he's just not good. He's just not good. So I'm expecting Suarez or Sanchez, and I think whoever it's going to be, like the Braves in game 3, which we'll get into, it's going to be short leash, first sight of trouble. They're going to be warming up almost back to back.
Yeah, Ranger Suarez has had like a decent amount of success against the Braves. Like he hasn't been completely dominant, but he's had some good starts against us. I think he has a 3-run ERA exactly, if I remember. I looked yesterday, but he's a pretty safe option. He's a solid option. But yeah, I think it'll be Suarez if you made me guess, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was Sanchez either. I would really be surprised if it was Taijuan Walker.
Yeah, no game 1 is a must win, but this is as close of a must win as you could possibly have. I mean, we've got our four. Yeah, it's a can't lose. I mean, the Phillies, I don't want to say they're expecting to lose because that's crap and no team at this level expects to lose. But this is one of those games that the Braves have to win based upon who's on the mound. They have to win this game 1.
Yeah, I mean, that game 1 last year, I think, was the difference. I know that we lost in 4 games, but we probably win that series in 5 games if we come back home and win that. We lost 7-6. It was obviously the Fried 6 start. Matt Olson hit a big 3-run homer in the 9th inning to give us a chance to tie the game. But yeah, I mean, game 1 last year was the difference. Game 1, I think the same thing. You got your best pitcher in Spencer Strider on the mound versus their third best pitcher, and you have to win this game because Zach Wheeler is coming up next. And last year, as I said, we beat Zach Wheeler, but this year, there's no guarantees. I mean, he might be the best postseason pitcher right now in baseball. So game 2 is going to be Zach Wheeler versus Max Fried. I know I said probably all season that I'd start game Max Fried, but because of the blister, he had to pitch in one of these simulated games and get some innings. That sets him up to pitch on full rest for game 2, even an extra day of rest. He would have to pitch on short rest based on how he pitched on Tuesday, on Saturday. So it's definitely going to be Spencer Strider and Max Fried. I think that's set in stone. So you get a Wheeler versus Fried matchup. That's sexy. Game 3 is where things get weird for the Braves because it's going to be Nola for the Phillies. Who do the Braves go to? Is it AJ Smith-Shawver? Is it Kyle Wright? Is it Bryce Elder? I think those are your 3 options. I mean, they could go full bullpen game. They definitely have the days off to do it. But I think one of those guys gets the start. I don't know which way I lean because Kyle Wright pitched 2 starts. His 2 starts back were both against the Phillies, and they were both absolutely brutal. Out of the bullpen, he was pretty good. So do you even trust Kyle Wright against the Phillies? Because he hammered him pretty hard. So AJ Smith-Shawver, he's 20 years old. Bryce Elder, that guy's pitched terrible. There's no good options, but like the Phillies in game 1, it's going to be an all hands on deck. And it's going to be whoever starts is going to be on a very short lease, especially on the road, because you do not want to, like I said, the key to this winning at Citizens Bank Ballpark is shutting that offense down early and getting some runs on the board and quieting the crowd. So you do not want that game to get out of hand because it will turn into a party real quick in Philadelphia.
Yeah, so no, I have to agree with you too about the bullpen game. I think is risky, even though you do have the extra days off, because you risk if you gas your bullpen, then you're really talking about putting yourself behind the 8 ball. One of the biggest things that I think is gonna really shine through in this series is, like you said, is getting the crowd out of the game. Like it's almost like a football game at that point. Like you don't want the crowd influencing the game that much. If you made me guess right now, I'd say they go with Kyle Wright, but in the past, I mean, like I said, Brian Snitker turns into like the baseball version of like prime Phil Jackson in the playoffs. I don't know. He is just masterful in the playoffs. And so whatever they go with, I'm gonna roll with. 2021, he pressed all the right buttons. It's hard to point to a mistake during that 2021 run. 2022, it was kind of really out of his hands at that point. I mean, he kind of did what he could. So I have full faith.
No managing was overcoming what happened in 2022.
Exactly.
I still think it's going to be Bryce Elder, and I still think that it's going to be, his leash is going to depend on game 1 and game 2. If they come in there 2-0, they're probably going to let Bryce, if he runs into a little trouble, see if he can get out of it. If it's 1-1, it doesn't matter who's on the mound. It's going to be a short leash, just like Jay said, just like game 1 is going to be for the Phillies. Game 1 and game 2 are going to dictate a lot of game 3, but I still just think it's going to be Bryce Elder.
I don't think it matters who's on the mound and what the series is in game 3. It's going to be a short leash. You're not going to just give away a game. And because you have all the off days, you can go and throw an AJ Smith-Shawver, Kyle Wright. It's going to be a short leash no matter what for game 3. I still think you're smoking something if you think Bryce Elder is going to pitch game 3. I would be shocked. I really would. I
can't wait to send you the text.
Yeah. Trust me. I've actually thought about it. What am I going to be happier for? Because you keep saying this when the Braves win game 1 and 2, or when they announce someone else besides Bryce Elder for game 3. So I can finally say how ridiculous this is, because and we'll see. I mean, we have the third simulated workout today. We'll see what happens. We'll see if Bryce Elder hasn't made his appearance, which he still could. Yeah. So we'll see how he pitches. I mean, what I'm going to be looking for in that simulated game is his control. That's really been the issue. If Bryce Elder is walking people, especially on the road, you just can't have that. You just can't. That place will start erupting. It will go nuts. A walk on the road is almost more demoralizing than a home run. Like, it's just like, because it's like you just know that the pitcher is completely out of control. You know you can get in his head, and that riles the fans up. And walks lead to big innings, man. Walks lead to big innings. I'd rather you give up a home run. So I'm going to be watching his control. If he doesn't walk a bunch of guys, I'm sure he'll be facing the Braves' top guys to see if he can pitch, because that's what the Phillies lineup's going to be like. But yeah, I think that will determine a lot. I just, at this point right now, as of today, especially with what AJ Smith-Shawver did the other day, throwing 5 scoreless innings against the Braves' top guys in the open scrimmage, I don't know how you could roll with Bryce Elder. But
God, what a gutsy call! What a gutsy call! If AJ Smith-Shawver gets the call,
I don't think it's ridiculous.
No, it's not. I'm just saying, what a gutsy call.
Definitely not
a gutsy call.
Whoever gets it, like, I mean, whether it's Kyle Wright, whether it's Bryce Elder, whether it's AJ Smith-Shawver, they're probably going to pitch 1 time through the order. Maybe they give them 2 if they're rolling. If they're rolling, maybe they give them 2. Maybe. There's no way they're going 3. I don't care if I don't care if they literally have a perfect game going. I mean, maybe if it's like 6-0, they'll reconsider. But it would have to be something like that to go 3 times through the order. So whatever happens, it's going to be a very short lease, and it's going to be all hands on deck. And we could see Jesse Chavez. I don't know if Tonkin will make the roster, but maybe you put him in there. Hell, we could see AJ Minter early. I mean, it's whatever happens. I mean, I guarantee you the Phillies have a lot of lefty power bats. If it comes up to the top of that order in a big moment, you could see AJ Smith-Shawver or AJ Minter pitching the 6th, 7th, and 8th. It's going to be that kind of game, especially if it's 1-1. If it's 1-1, and so. It's going to be fun, man. I'm excited, dude. I don't even know what to say. I'm getting pumped up.
I wish it was tonight.
I'm getting pumped up just talking about it, man. Like, let's get it going, baby. Let's get it right. Coming up after the break, we're going to break down your team, the Georgia Bulldogs, hosting Kentucky this week, week 6.